I thought we'd try this story. The Mystery of the Egyptian Scroll. Here's a picture of Egypt and the Nile. Chapter 1, The Thief. Dust hung thick over the Thebes marketplace. Standing before a mountain of clay pots, 12-year-old Zet swatted a fly from his shoulders. The fly dive-bombed his head and he swatted it again. "Pots and dishes!" he shouted, waving a plate in the air. "You're supposed to be drawing customers over here," his sister Cat said, "not scaring them away." "Sorry." Still, Zet gave one last warning swipe at the fly. With a grin, he turned and leaped over the pots. He landed where his sister sat studying the record of trades. She didn't bother to look up. She was too busy staring at her calculations. Cat was 11 and good with numbers and writing. Not that he'd ever tell her that. "We need to do something," she said. "We haven't sold a single thing all day." "Make that all week," he said. She pushed her dark bangs from her eyes and glanced up at him. She looked worried. "Maybe it's the heat," Zet said. "No one likes cooking when it's this hot." "Maybe it's because we're kids." She held up the pottery shard covered with her neatly printed hieratic. "According to these, for every week that Father's been gone, sales have dropped." She wasn't the first to think it. Zet had been wondering the same thing. He glanced across at a vegetable cellar. Under his shaded awning, 2 women browsed the baskets loaded with beans and cabbages. A third argued over a length of fabric for her purchases. "If it's true, that's not fair. Our father is off fighting high cost to keep Egypt safe," Zet said. Maybe Zet was a kid, but he was as capable of running a stall as any of the adults. He'd promised he would take care of his family until his father returned, and his father trusted him. Maybe they were hungrier, but they wouldn't starve. Zet wouldn't let them. So why did they have this terrible knot in his stomach? He jumped up. "We just need to make things more interesting. I could learn to juggle. I could juggle dishes. That would bring people over." "Yes, but there'd be nothing left to buy because everything would be broken." "Have some faith," Zet said. "We should rearrange the stall." Zet groaned. "Again? Move the mountain of clayware a 4th time? No way. He'd already tried that once too many times. "Don't make that face," Cat said. "I've been taking notes. And when certain things are placed in view, it attracts customers over and—" A scuffle of feet and shouts broke out by the goat stall. Zet glanced across the market square. A man, deeply tanned, head shaved and wearing a threadbare tunic, broke free of the crowd and burst into view. The man sprinted around the goat pen, glanced back and slammed into a basket of dates. The dates flew like cockroaches in every direction. "Stop!" the date owner screeched. The man kept running. "Not this way," Zet said, darting forward as the man bumped into a stack of pots. Zet grabbed the sack, righted it, and then flew through the air to catch a falling dish. He landed belly first with the plate in perfect, pristine condition. He rolled over and looked for Cat. "See, how's that for juggling?" Cat's eyes were on the far alley. So much for proving a point. He turned to see 3 Medjay officers sprint into view. 2 carried wooden staffs. One had a curved bronze sickle and another had a dagger on his belt and a shield in his left hand. "Where did he go?" one officer shouted. The date stall owner, an old man named Salatis, pointed to where the man had disappeared. 2 of the officers tore after him. The clank of their weapons echoed down the alley and disappeared. The 3rd Medjay stood catching his breath. He was unarmed, but his gleaming insignia marked him as important, and his fists looked big enough to crush several thieves at once. The running had winded him. Zed wondered how long they'd kept up the chase.